All right, guys. So today we are with Ernie, right? So if you don't know Ernie, it pretty much means that you haven't looked at any of my content, right? Because Ernie has been on the channel a couple of times. And if you've been to one of my live class, which by the way, you should join the next one. It's actually free, right? At this link. If you've been to one of these live class, you know that I've talked about Ernie. Ernie is one of my first students, and Ernie has been able to make a little bit of money on Amazon, right?
Just a little bit.
Tiny bit.
Tiny
Just
bit.
a tiny bit, right? A tiny bit of money with
Right.
what he learned from Amazon. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to have a conversation. Hopefully you guys are going to be able to learn a couple of things as well about how to start an Amazon business, and more importantly, how to scale, because starting is the easy part, right?
That's right.
And we're going to learn about Ernie's journey as well. So Ernie, first of all, thank you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Anytime. So, let's just get started and tell me about your journey and how you actually started, how you actually found out about Amazon, right? And how you actually got started.
Okay, so my background is actually in real estate. Okay, so I actually own a real estate company. And there's two things in real estate that you have that are similar to what you do in an Amazon business. The first thing is leveraging. Okay, so in real estate, when I purchase a building, I'm not using my personal money out of my bank account.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm using the bank's money, which is other people's money. So you have to understand that concept of leveraging to be successful in an Amazon business. That's number one. Number two, you have to understand the concept of cash flow. So in real estate, I purchase a building. I have a building in my hands now. Now I have to make sure that building cash flows. I either have to sell it in 30 or 60 days to get my money back, or I have to rent it out and get cash flow from tenants. So those are the two first advantages I had going into Amazon. I understand leveraging and cash flow. So anybody starting an Amazon business needs to understand how to leverage and cash flow. So I had that advantage going in, okay? So how I got started at Amazon is kind of like, it was a joke at first. So do you remember when the COVID situation happened?
Yeah.
Okay. During that time, real estate was dead. The banks were not loaning money, and people weren't able to go look at houses and commercial properties. So my real estate business was on hold. And keep in mind, I have an office full of agents and staff that rely on me. So we're sitting in there, and I go, we could get through a couple years of this. I had enough cash flow come to get through to that. But after 2 years, two things were going to happen. Either the world was going to come to an end, okay, so it didn't matter, or we'd be out of business if we didn't change something. So I'm sitting there going, what am I going to do? I've got to do something. I'm bored. There's nothing going on. What can I do? So I started researching companies or businesses I can either acquire or start that were not affected by a COVID situation. So I came across this article. They were talking about e-commerce, how it was like
Booming.
Yeah. The next best thing ever. That intrigued me. I read the article a little bit more, and they were talking about Amazon, how Amazon just exploded. Now, keep in mind, I thought when you purchase something from Amazon, you're buying it from Amazon.
Yeah.
So later down the article, I saw this little sentence, and it was hidden in the article. The sentence said, 70% of Amazon sales come from individual sellers. Wow. So that tells me that I could do this, right? The problem is I didn't know how. I know nothing about Amazon or e-commerce. I know real estate. So I go, let me do some more digging into this. And I wasn't able to find much. Start an LLC, set up an Amazon account. That's pretty much where it ended. Nobody out there had any kind of information about how to run this kind of business. So I walk in my office one morning and I asked my assistant, I said, I want you today to scour the world, scour the internet, and find me 3 people out there that are doing this business, and I want to talk to them. Set up a meeting with me. So she did. And keep in mind, when you set up these meetings with teachers, gurus, whatever you want to call it, there's a cost to it. It's a few $100s. I wasn't worried about that. I wanted to know the mechanics of this business.
Mm-hmm.
So she set up 3 meetings. Here's where it gets interesting. The first meeting she set up was with, I'll call him Mr. B.
Mm-hmm.
I won't give you his name because I don't want to
Get in trouble.
hurt somebody's feelings out here. Okay. So I get on the call with Mr. B. You know, you start with a simple talk. How are you? Good to meet you. All that stuff. Within 30 seconds, Mr. B was talking about how he was looking at a Lamborghini to buy and what color he wanted. I go, oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go, right?
Yeah.
I hung up on him because I knew this guy was just full of nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
People like, I don't care about your Lamborghini. I need to know the mechanics of this business. Hung up on him. I go, great. Strike number 1. Here we go. I set up the second meeting. I'll call this guy Mr. G. I don't want to put their name out there. Okay. So Mr. G gets on the phone. He didn't talk about Lamborghinis, but he was talking about, you know, Ernie, to be successful in business, you have to work hard.
Like you're not successful already.
Okay. Work hard. I got that down. Then he goes, you have to sacrifice. Okay. Where's the mechanics of this business?
Mm-hmm.
Is this just a motivational speech or what? So, I don't need that, right? Hung up on him. Strike 2. I'm ready to give up. The third meeting, Chris.
Mm-hmm. I should have been the first one. I told you that.
Well,
I should have been the
okay.
first one.
Well, it's good I had to go through the other 2 first.
Yeah.
Okay. So the third call, Chris. Chris, nice to meet you. I'm Ernie. Blah, blah, blah. Within 1 minute, you started talking about a target list. Then I said, this guy has it figured out. What's this target list about? And you pretty much explained to me what it is.
By the way, oalis.com, you can get it for $1 a day.
Yes. So the target list is basically a list of companies' websites, of their clearance items and sale items that you put together on a list, and you watch your websites to get online arbitrage audience. So I go, okay, Chris is onto something here. This is what I need. And that's kind of how it started from there. So that's kind of how I got to the Amazon business or space.
Yeah. And so before that, were you selling already? Like, have you created did you create your Amazon account before that, or did you create it after that?
I created the Amazon account before. I was all ready to go. Mm-hmm. I just didn't know how to get products and what to do. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because that's the next thing this business is. You just can't start selling everything on day one.
Yeah.
There's a system to this program. So what I did was, I thought about what categories I wanted to sell in. That's number 1. I thought about all the categories out there: shoes, toys, beauty, grocery, all that. I decided, let me start with toys. Mm-hmm. Number 1, I played with toys as a kid. Okay.
So you know toys a little bit.
I know toys a little bit.
You know your way around. Yeah.
Okay. So that was number 1. Number 2, I thought to myself, every minute, every hour of every day, some kid is having a birthday. Mm-hmm. So they're getting toys. Then I thought to myself, whenever a movie comes out, there's toys. Mm-hmm. So I go, I think I want to be in that category. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what am I going to do? I can't sell these toys. So I asked you, and you said, Ernie, check out EE Distribution. What is that? It's a company you can go to. It's a wholesaler where you can purchase toys from them and get the invoices to get approved on Amazon. Now, back when we started, we only needed to send in 10 items on an invoice.
It was super easy, right?
It was super easy.
I miss those times.
Yes.
But it's still easy.
It's still easy.
Yeah.
So what I did was I called up EE Distribution. I set up an account. Now you have to go through a process. There's an hour-long class.
It's terrible.
Just go through it, okay?
I skipped it. I'll be 100%. I never opened an account with EE Distribution because of that.
But I did it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went to EE Distribution. I said, I'm buying 10 Barbie dolls from you. That got me to get in Barbie. I went back to EE Distribution. I went 10 Hasbro items, ungated. I went back again, 10 Mattel items. I went back again, 10 Hot Wheels, 10 Lego, 10 WWE, 10 Transformers. You see where this is going?
Yeah.
So I was ungated in toys right away. Now, where do I find the toys? That's where the target list came into play. So then I started using the target list, and I was buying toys from Best Buy, Target.com, Walmart.com. So I was off to the races on online arbitrage. So that's kind of how it started.
Yeah.
With the toys in there.
And so let's revert a little bit. So you talked about you just started, right? So just with the targets, with setting up that system,
right?
It went from 0 to what kind of revenue?
I was doing early on, after I got ungated, after I started getting products, I was doing about $4,000 a month. Now that's gross.
What were your profit margins looking like?
They were anywhere from 30% to 60% range.
Return on investment or profit margin?
Return on investment.
Yeah. That's good.
I don't care about profit margin.
Yeah. Profit margin is irrelevant, but
it's irrelevant.
But people love talking about profit margins.
Don't talk about it.
And I have a full video, by the way, on why it's a dumb metric to actually look at. It's all about return on investment.
Return on investment is the key. And how fast can I get my money back?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go as low as 5% ROI if it sells quick.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. So that's kind of how it started.
Great.
That was my online arbitrage journey.
Yeah. And so you started with online arbitrage.
I started with online arbitrage because of the target list.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so there's challenges and not challenges with online arbitrage. The challenge with online arbitrage is you could scour websites and not find anything. It happens. The good news is you can get a lot of products off of one site pretty quickly. Like, for instance, do you remember the Dick's Sporting Goods that I did? I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. I bought 200 pairs of baseball cleats from them.
Yeah, I remember those.
Okay. 200 right away. The downside is I never saw them in person. So when they were shipped to me, half of them didn't have boxes.
Yeah.
Half of them were mismatched sizes. That could be the downside of that. But that was the worst case scenario. But for the most part, it's always worked out. The stuff comes in pretty good. Yeah.
So what would you say to somebody that's saying selling on Amazon is saturated?
Everything's saturated. Real estate's saturated. But I'm still successful at it. Okay? You just have to find your niche.
Is real estate harder than selling on Amazon?
No.
No?
No.
Real estate is easier?
No. I'm sorry. Amazon's easier.
Okay.
Because Amazon does all the work for me.
Yeah.
I send stuff in, they market it, they sell it for me. I just have to watch my numbers.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
it.
Exactly. Because I remember one time you told me that Amazon is the easiest business you've ever touched in your life.
I've owned a lot of businesses in my life, and Amazon is the easiest by far that I've done personally. Now, remember, it's still a business. You have to treat it that way. You have to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, if you don't know leveraging or cash flow, you won't be successful in any business.
Yeah.
But it's an easy business. But remember, it's still a business.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to treat it that way.
Yeah. So you went from zero, right, to $4,000 after our first call, and that's back when I was doing those 1 hour. It was 30 minutes consultation back in the day.
Correct.
Yeah. So you went from zero to $4,000. Then 2024, you made close to 2 million.
Yes.
Okay. What's the number for 2025?
1.7 million.
2025?
Yes.
That's great. And so, how did you change your strategy?
Now, that wasn't all online arbitrage. There was a change there.
Yeah.
I jumped into retail arbitrage and wholesale as well to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I started with online arbitrage.
Yeah.
And it kind of grew from there.
And so, how did you transition into retail arbitrage?
Okay. So so I'm doing the online arbitrage thing. And I'm like, I need to get more products available to me. So this one day I'm at a restaurant in Phoenix. And I'm just sitting there thinking about how I'm going to scale this thing, how I'm going to get more products in front of me. I'm sitting there eating lunch, and I look out the window, and there's a Ross store right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, I personally have not been in a Ross store before this time in many, many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I was in a Ross store was a long time ago, and when I was there, it was horrible. There was no brand names in there at the time.
Oh, really?
No, it was bad. I just remember it was horrible in there. It was a horrible experience.
So, how did you go from hating Ross
to loving it?
To loving it. Like,
okay.
How did you go from there?
So, I remember I hated Ross because I just remember the clothes in there were dirty.
Mm-hmm.
They were odd sizes. There was no name brands at the time. So I'm sitting there eating my lunch. I see this Ross sign. I go, let me just go in there and see what's going on. So I finish my lunch. I walk across the little strip mall. I walk inside the Ross. I walk in. I start looking around. I go, wow, this has changed.
Mm-hmm.
I start seeing Nike, Adidas, Puma. I start seeing these brands. I go, whoa. Then I realized inside the store is many categories. There's clothes, there's shoes, there's sporting goods, there's kitchen, there's toys, all these categories.
Pet products.
I go, whoa, let me look around here. So I start scanning items in there, and I realized, oh my goodness, I could sell these on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how it started. So that day, I think I purchased, I don't know, maybe $300 worth of items. And it was mainly toys because I was going to get into toys and a few other items. And I go, wow, I think I'm onto something here. So I go up to the register to pay. Now, keep in mind, I have to use my own money because I'd never been in here before. And the girl, the cashier, she goes, would you like to open up a Ross credit card? I go, light bulb went on. I go, well, tell me about it. She goes, if you open up the Ross credit card, every time you spend $5, you get $1 back in rewards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, leveraging. So I said, go ahead, give it to me. I applied, got approved. So then I realized, wow, now I just figured out retail arbitrage.
Yeah.
And I'm using their card to get products. And I'm getting points back at the end of the month and certificates for free product.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk out of there. I'm walking to my car, and I look up, and there's a TJ Maxx in the same parking lot. I go, I wonder if they have the same stuff. I walk in there, same experience.
Mm-hmm.
Same experience. I got a few things, walk up to the counter. Would you like to open up a TJ Maxx card?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So that's kind of how the retail arbitrage started. And then the rest is history. Now, I live in an area where there's a Ross store in every street corner.
Mm-hmm.
So I have an advantage where I live. Somebody in the Midwest or somewhere else may not have that.
Yeah.
So you might have to do more online arbitrage. But luckily for me, I live in a place where I have all this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how the retail arbitrage started.
Yeah. And so how long were you working a day to go from on your Amazon business, right? Because I know that you work a lot on your other business.
Yeah.
But like just on the Amazon business, how many hours a day would you say you were working to get from $0 to $4,000 a month?
Oh, I was working every day.
Every day?
7 days a week.
Great. How many hours?
I want to sleep. 20 hours a day. I was obsessed.
Yeah.
I was obsessed because I wanted to know the mechanics of this business,
Mm-hmm.
and I understand leveraging,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an easy business for me.
Yeah.
I send stuff to Amazon, they sell it.
Mm-hmm.
How hard is that?
Yeah.
Right? You know?
Best business ever.
Yeah. And then I take my Amazon money and buy more real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
leverage the two.
And so today, how many hours a day do you spend on your Amazon business?
Now it's not so much because now I have employees that run it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recommend doing it on day one. You have to learn the business.
Yeah.
So right now I have employees run it for me. I still go to a store.
Because you enjoy it.
I enjoy it. It's fun for me, you know? Because these people have no idea what I'm doing in there.
Yeah.
And I'll probably spend a couple hours a day on it now.
Mm-hmm. That's
but,
cool.
But mainly it's watching numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my main thing is watching my numbers.
Yeah.
Making sure stuff is selling. Making sure stuff is getting priced accordingly.
Mm-hmm. And talking about numbers, so in what order would you, if you had to start again,
Yep.
right? In what order would you start delegating tasks? So which are the tasks that you would delegate first in your Amazon business?
Well, first, I would delegate the shipping of it, the prep center. Get a prep center or have somebody do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
You will get so discouraged with that process, you'll be out of business in a week. Okay.
Some people love it.
If you love it, good for you.
I hate it.
You save money. Okay?
I hate it.
I hate removing labels.
Mm-hmm.
My hands get sticky on
Yeah,
the poly bags.
and the smell of the goo gone.
Yeah.
I hate it.
You know,
Oh my God.
I knock over some poly bags. My shoes get stuck on the little stickers. You know, I'm walking in my office with like stickers on my shoe. People wonder what I'm doing. They think I'm a weirdo. So, you know, I mean, it's just a horrible process, okay?
Yeah.
I'm walking into a UPS store with these boxes.
Yeah.
The boxes fall apart. It's just, you know, it's nothing you want to be part of, okay?
Yeah.
Unless you like doing it.
Yeah.
So right away, get that out of your life
As soon as possible.
and focus
As
on
fast.
and focus on sourcing.
Yeah, exactly. And at what point would you advise somebody to start outsourcing sourcing? Which
When
is
you-
product research, by the way, if you guys don't know.
When you start hating it,
Mm-hmm.
when you start getting discouraged, you want to give up. That's when you have to outsource something.
Mm-hmm.
Then you do it.
Yeah. So you do tasks for a long time before you start delegating. So that's kind of your philosophy.
You have to know the business.
Yeah.
Before you start delegating out.
But you start delegating a long time after actually knowing the business, because like you wait until you start hating the task.
I waited till I started hating it, or I hated it.
Yeah.
Then I said I have to change. That's when you do it.
Yeah, yeah. So Ernie's a little bit different, by the way, because Ernie loves working. I know that a lot of you guys just want to just like set up a business and not do anything, right? That's not how it works, right? It doesn't work this way. If you want to be successful with it, and it can be real estate, it can be anything, right? You actually need to put in the hours, right? Now, it's actually manageable. You can do it in a couple of hours a day, right? You can learn by doing it a couple of hours a day, but you need to be consistent.
Yes.
Right? So talking about consistency, right? How long did it actually take you to go from like those $4,000 a month to being on pace to get to a seven-figure year?
That took a couple years
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of help. And I was doing online arbitrage, retail, and wholesale.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the process works. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And you have to be consistent. You have to be like a robot.
Mm-hmm.
Any successful business guy is going to tell you consistency, persistence, know your numbers.
Yeah.
It's like clockwork. On Tuesday at 10 a.m., I'm sourcing.
Mm-hmm.
On Wednesday at 10 a.m., I'm packing. Thursday at 10 a.m., I'm sourcing again. It has to be like a robotic, repetitive movement.
Yeah.
That's how you're successful.
And so you were able to buy your Lamborghini or not?
I don't care about that stuff. I don't care. I drive a Lexus, okay?
Yeah.
I don't care about Lamborghinis or Ferraris. I don't care. It doesn't impress me.
Yeah.
But if you want one, go for it. Do it, okay?
Yeah. And so let's talk about cash flow, because this is like the second most important thing, right? So once you understand the business, you understood cash flow already.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You understand inventory turnover.
Yes.
Right? So what does your inventory turnover looks like? So when you spend $1 into the business, how long does it take you to turn it into like $1.60, $1.40 to $1.60 in your case, because that was your return on investment?
You need to return every 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's your goal.
Yeah.
Because after 30 days, you're paying off credit cards.
Yeah. A little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to get to where your money's maybe every 2 weeks, maybe every 20 days.
Mm-hmm.
But 30 days is a good number.
Yeah.
To strive for.
Yeah.
Get your return over every 30 days, like clockwork, and you're moving. And you're not dipping in your own pocket for money.
Yeah. And so what were some levers you were able to pull to actually get to the 30-day number? Was it actually hard to do?
No.
No?
No.
Can you bring it? Do you think that you're able to actually bring it lower? Because you buy everything.
I buy everything.
If something is profitable, Ernie is buying it.
My net is wide, okay? The universe is my net.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you were to optimize, how low do you think you could get this number?
I could get it to 14 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think you can do lower?
I don't know. That's hard.
Because you don't do any FBM, right?
I don't do FBM.
Yeah.
If you do FBM, you can get there quicker than me.
Mm-hmm.
I do FBA only.
Yeah.
I should do FBM.
You should.
I should.
And we've been talking about it for 2 years now.
We do, but I'm scared. I'm afraid. Okay.
What are you scared about
I have
with
a good
FBM?
thing going right now.
What are you scared
I
about?
don't know. I don't know what I'm afraid of. Taking a risk? I don't know.
So you should, because FBM is one of the easiest way to cut down your inventory turnover. Especially right now, because I feel like last year FBM was terrible, at least for me and for what I've seen, because I helped a lot of people, right? From what I've seen, last year was terrible with FBM, especially out of Q4.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was really, really hard to win the buy box FBM.
Yes.
Now, I would say my business is probably like 75 to 80% FBM right now, as we're speaking, right? We're in March, right? So my business is like probably 80% FBM. I'm not touching any products myself, by the way, right? So it's the prep center taking care of it. But like 80% of my business is FBM. It's the easiest time ever to actually, not ever, right? I'm maybe exaggerating a little bit. But it's the easiest time in a long time to actually do FBM right now. So you should definitely do it.
Well, okay, when I first started, FBM was not getting the buy box.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably my hesitation.
It was getting the buy box. Maybe you were not repricing.
Maybe
correctly.
not. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just something wrong. But now that more people are getting the buy box FBM, I'm going to do it, especially during Q4.
Yeah. No, during Q4, you need to do FBM.
You have to.
It's so easy to make money during Q4.
Because Q4, the Amazon warehouse are so overworked
Yeah.
that your stuff isn't getting checked in quickly.
But it was not too bad like in 2024. Right? If I remember correctly, you did a lot of FBA during Q4 2024, and it was checking in decently.
Remember, I live in Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah, the East Coast is terrible.
I live in Phoenix. They've got an Amazon warehouse in every street corner. Okay, so I have an advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I mean, you should definitely get into FBM. Like, that's going to speed up your cash flow a lot. And since you like working a lot, like, there's no issue with that.
Oh, I'm a workaholic.
Because the main thing is you just need to, like, it's going to be down to repricing. Right? To win the buy box and actually monitoring your price. So I get it, right? I'm pretty lazy with repricing myself, right? Because you guys know, like, all of you guys, even like I've got some of the students right there that do not want to be shown on camera. But like, you guys know, like, back in the day, I did like a full 3-day presentation on my FBM strategy, on my repricing strategy, right? And if you guys remember, I had a lot of reminders set up, all that stuff. And I was using another repricer that I will not say the name of today because we kind of have a beef right now, right?
Does your audience know what a repricer is?
Most of them. I mean, I have a lot of new sellers now, so if you do not understand, do you want to explain it?
Okay, so a repricer, you're going to hear this term a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So when you sell something on Amazon, there's going to be other sellers selling that same product, right? And the price is going to fluctuate up and down.
The price of the buy box, right?
The
What is
buy
the
box.
buy box?
So your goal is to get your product in that little buy box.
Mm-hmm. What is the buy box?
What is that?
Yeah, what is the buy box?
Okay. So whenever you go on Amazon, you purchase something. let's say I purchase this bottle of water.
Mm-hmm.
I pull up this bottle of water. There's a box there in front of you that says, this is for sale for $1. Buy it now. You want to have your product in that buy box.
Mm-hmm. And if you look right under it,
if you look under it, there's other sellers.
Sold by Ernie.
That's right. Sold by Ernie, right? So your goal is to get in that buy box. Now, there's a lot of variables to get in the buy box. But the best one is to have a repricing software system. Now, a repricing software system basically uses AI technology, and it keeps you kind of in the buy box. It keeps your price moving to where Amazon will keep you in the buy box. If you don't have a repricer, you're manually pricing your stuff all the time, and prices change by the second.
Mm-hmm.
So it's worth it to have the repricing software to keep you in the buy box. Now, the reprice software is like, what, $50, $100 a month?
There's different plans, which you can get started for like $29. I think the cheapest plan on Aura, which is the one that I recommend right now, by the way, link in the description.
Yeah, use Aura.
If you want to try Aura. Is like, I think the cheapest plan is like $27.
And I know some people out there that do not have a repricer.
Yeah, like
they're being cheap.
Yeah, I mean, when I started personally, I started with a repricer immediately.
Right.
Because I just invested money in my business. Like I did not care. But like, yeah, like repricing manually is terrible. Like it's a lot of work. I don't know. I've never done it, to be honest. But like it's a lot of work. Yeah.
Remember one of the things you asked me to delegate?
No, what was it?
You said, what other thing I delegate? Repricing.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get a repricer.
Repricing should probably be the first thing that you delegate to the software, right? There's still a little bit of work that you're going to need to do, but if you use Go Aura, like, I mean, like, you can just set it up to Maven and it's going to do all the work for you. Maven is an AI repricing rule, right? And it's going to, like, to be honest, so shout out to Aura, right? Because we have Dylan coming into the community as well quite often, right? And if you set up your repricer to their AI repricing rule, which is Maven, it's going to push your price up. So before that, I was dealing with a Chinese repricer, right? By the way, whenever I actually started promoting Aura, they cut down my affiliate commission like by 95%, right? So they tried to shut me down. You're not going to shut me down. I don't care about money. Like with that specific Chinese repricer, it was tanking your price. It was tanking your price like crazy, right? And Ernie, I remember you were loving their AI repricing. You were using it all the time, and I was saying, or was it the opposite?
It was the opposite.
Yeah, I think I was using the AI a lot. Ernie was finding like it was tanking the product or something like that, right? With that Chinese repricer, and like it was just a terrible situation. And recently they had a really bad event where they tanked the price of all of their users, so people were like losing money for like a couple of hours, right? It was terrible, and yeah. So the point that I'm trying to make is delegate repricing as fast as possible, because especially with Aura, it's going to bump your price up, right? It's going to bump your price up like crazy. So I remember when I started using it, right? It was right after I got married, right? So we went on vacation in Ivory Coast, and I did not want to touch my repricer at all, right? And I often tell that story, right? And I set up Aura, I set up Maven, and I said, you know what? Let me just set it up. I'm not going to look at it, right? And let's see if I win the buy box, right? And I started getting sales. So I had these Under Armour socks that were selling for $27, right? Just by using Aura, like using Maven, I was getting sales at $44, right? So if you start delegating repricing and you pay for a repricer, it's going to actually pay for itself like really fast, right? Because like the incremental profit that you're going to make, right, is going to pay back for the membership, pretty much. Right. So repricing is definitely one of the first.
That's the first thing you buy. Yeah. Do not go cheap.
Yeah.
Now remember, it's $50 to $100.
It's even cheaper than that. I think the cheapest plan is like $27, $29.
Remember, I was paying $500 a month for Seller Snap or whatever it was. So you can afford $50 a month. Yeah. Okay. It's worth it.
Yeah.
It's going to keep you in the buy box. It's going to keep your pricing fluctuating every second of the day.
Yeah, exactly. So to get back to cash flow, right? So you can probably get it to 2 weeks to 15 days. I think mine right now, I haven't looked. It should be around 25 days right now, because I have some FBA inventory being turned over. But like if we just look at FBM, which is like what I'm transitioning my business to mainly, I think I should be under 15 days, like just on these ASINs, right? So you can definitely do that. But talking about, because pretty much once you understand cash flow cycle, once you understand cash flow, once you understand days in inventory, you can start using other people's money, right? Which is what you talked about. So what was your strategy? How were you able to scale your business, and were you able to do it without using any of your money?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Great. So what was your strategy?
Well, okay, so the online arbitrage.
Yeah.
So online arbitrage, I was using Target.com, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
All those stores have a credit card. I applied for all of them.
So you got all of them?
Got them all.
Really? So do you have one with Dick's Sporting Goods?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Marshalls?
Yes.
Burlington?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same, right?
All, they're all,
Bass Pro Shops?
yes.
Are you sourcing at Bass Pro Shops?
Yes, all of them.
You need to give me the game plan for Bass Pro Shop, because I'm trying to figure it out. Kohl's?
Yes.
Macy's?
Yes.
What else we have? Walmart?
Yes.
Target?
Yes.
I think we got everything, right?
I got them all. Macy's. You forgot Macy's. I
Yeah,
had Macy's,
we said Macy's.
So with that, I use the credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Then on online arbitrage, you can also buy discounted gift cards.
Yeah.
That's another way to manufacture your margins.
Mm-hmm.
So I recommend going to those websites and buying discounted gift cards that will help out with your margins on online arbitrage.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how you do it. So that's great. So you were able to use other people's money, you're able to get your buy cost down, right? Get your inventory days, your average inventory days.
Now keep
down.
in mind, those credit cards are dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
They all have high interest rate.
Yeah. Quick disclaimer.
Okay.
Don't.
Do not use those credit cards for your personal use.
Exactly.
I know it's hard to do, but this is a business, okay? And you got to pay those things off in 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're dead in the water.
Yeah.
That's a little tip. Okay.
A quick disclaimer, okay?
That's right.
Don't get in debt. We're not telling
Do
you
not
to get
into debt.
Okay. Terrible situation.
You got to know how to manage your debt.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And if you can do that smartly,
Right.
the sky is the limit.
The sky's the limit.
Yeah. So how do you actually manage your debt? Do you have any type of system that you use to track everything?
Okay. So there's a couple software systems out there. I think there's an Inventory Lab, Boxem. I recommend getting one of those that will help you track your inventory and help you with your numbers if you want to go that route. By the way, Boxem has a feature that you click a little button and it will auto-ungate you in thousands of products in 30 seconds.
Link for Boxem in the description. Though.
Yeah, I mean, to get ungated is a challenge. But now that Boxem has that software,
Yeah.
check it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you able to sell any of the products that you got to Ungated with Boxem?
I'm already ungated.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't have that problem.
Well,
Well, somebody's starting out.
You know what? I tried and it got me. I mean, I haven't went through the whole thing because I
Okay.
tried to see if it was going to ungate me for specific brands, and it didn't. I said, you know what? Let me stop it and I'll record it on video.
Right.
Right. And I forgot to do it. So my
Right.
bad, guys. But yeah, like even if you've been selling for a little while, you should still try because and just get the free trial to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Try and see if you get ungated. You're gonna get ungated in a lot of brands, and getting ungated in those brands, right? And by the way, if you do not understand what getting ungated means, right? Getting ungated is pretty much right. When you start selling on Amazon, you cannot sell anything, right? So you need to get approval to sell these brands, just like Ernie was able to do with the toys, right? With EE distributions. Okay. Now, there's a lot of brands because there's a lot of beginners that say, yeah, and like when I run these live class, the link is right there. By the way, guys, you should sign up.
Yep.
A lot of the comments that I get is like, I get people all the time, right, in the comments that say, yeah, but like, you start selling on Amazon, but like, you create your account, then you cannot sell anything, right? And like, I'm like, I mean, that's fine. You just get ungated. Like, that's such a minor step back. Like,
You got to start somewhere.
there's like so many brands that you're going to be able to ungate,
right.
that you're going to be able to sell without ungating. And then, I mean, ungating is not that hard, right?
No, it's not.
You just get an invoice with 10, 50, like 100 units.
Right.
You can buy the stuff from Amazon. Quick tip, right? You can buy the stuff from Amazon to get an invoice from Amazon and use that invoice to get ungated. If it's toys, use EE distribution, Sheffer. If it's grocery, use wholesale.frontiercoop.com. If it's, what am I missing?
Apparel, soccer.com.
Yeah, if you can get Ungated Nike,
Yeah.
Adidas, Under
Puma,
Armour, Puma,
Adidas.
New Balance,
Right.
Adidas Classics, because these are two different
Right.
brands, right? Soccer.com. What else are we missing? Beauty, wholesale.frontiercorp.com. Now, the truth is, you can actually get Ungated with order confirmation from Everyday's website, right?
That's right.
So whenever you actually purchase inventory, right? So let's say you buy stuff from Walgreens.com, from Target.com, you can use these to get Ungated, right? But the main thing is I get a lot of people, right, that try once, they get rejected, and then they say, oh, it does not work. Like, you cannot do it. Like,
You can't give up in life.
yeah.
Okay? You cannot give up in life.
I mean, especially with Amazon, if you give up on the first try,
It's a business. Every business has challenges. When you wake up every day, there's going to be hurdles you have to take care of.
and those hurdles are easy to take care of, right?
It's just stuff. You're just
Yeah,
problem solving.
You just like click
Okay.
upload, right? You just
Yeah.
click the upload button.
But
Right?
some people just give up on life.
Yeah. Look,
You know?
I've had people giving up because they submitted an application to open their Amazon account, right? And Amazon said, you need to submit more documents. And they gave up.
Why?
I mean, it shows that the bar is so low,
What?
right?
I mean, submit your driver's license.
Yeah.
Like
What do you need to submit? Your driver license?
and you have to you submit a driver's license and
Bank statements?
your bank statement and your LLC, whatever.
Yeah, if you have one,
If
you
you
don't even
have
need
one.
to have one, right?
That's it.
That's it. What else do you need to submit?
That's it.
And people give up at that point.
It's not that. Well, if you give up on that, the point is you can't give up on life.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a business. You can make a good living doing it. Just don't give up.
Yeah. So ungating, creating your account, ungating, use BoxM to get auto-engaged, then source beginner's product, right? How do you go from...
It's actually easier now than when I first started to do this business.
Oh, yeah, do you think so?
Well, first of all, when we had the target list
Yeah.
at the beginning, we had to manually do those websites.
Yeah.
There's VAs now.
Yeah.
There's tactical arbitrage.
Yeah.
There's these softwares that do it for you.
Yeah.
BoxM has auto ungating.
Yeah.
We didn't have that back
And
then.
we have AI. Like, you can
We
ask
have AI.
questions. Yeah.
We have the repricers now.
Yeah.
It's easier today than when I first started.
Yeah. And you were still able to turn that into $1 million
I was
business.
still able to do it.
Yeah.
So if I could do it back then, you could do it now with these
Yeah.
tools now.
And if you were to start again, right? So what would you do different?
Nothing.
Nothing? You would do the exact same thing?
Exact same thing. Well,
Yeah.
no, nothing. Wouldn't change anything.
Oh, really?
Wouldn't change anything.
So you would not use AI? You would not do any
Well,
of...
okay, I would use AI more because I didn't have the. Yes, more AI, more ungating. Yes.
Okay. That's great. That's great. So we talked about Amazon, right? Amazon not being saturated. We talked about cash flow. We talked about using other people's money. What else are we missing? What element are we missing? Like what everyone we talked about, right? Today that actually helps you go from zero, like those things and getting ungated, right? To building $1 million business on Amazon.
Let's talk about wholesale.
Wholesale, yeah.
That's
great.
okay. So
Which is why we're in Vegas.
that's
today.
why we're here.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to do wholesale. It interests me because I just buy direct from the distributor. That's it. But I was told, or I was told that it's impossible to do wholesale. You need millions of dollars. They'll never talk to you. You'll never get accounts, all these things. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not doing wholesale. Then I think, what was it? 3 summers ago, they had this convention here in Las Vegas. It's a wholesale convention where all the distributors come to one place and you could go get accounts. I said, hey, Chris, let's check this out. The worst case scenario, we went on vacation for a weekend,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And we see each other for the first
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
We hang out. Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Yeah.
I said, I just want to see if it's true, if it's that hard to get wholesale accounts. So we show up. I wasn't expecting much, to be honest with you, because I was told what it was like. So we go in there and we start walking from booth to booth to booth. After the 3rd booth, I look at you and go,
That's it?
we just got 3 accounts.
Yeah.
Like, I've been lied to my whole life.
Yeah.
It was that easy.
Mm-hmm.
It was like we went from booth to booth. We talked to them. We set up an account with them. Some of them had minimums, some didn't. But it was that easy to get wholesale accounts.
Yeah. And would you recommend a beginner to actually start with wholesale and do strictly wholesale?
No.
Why?
No, because you need to understand the mechanics of leveraging and cash flow first with online arbitrage and retail arbitrage. Once you master those two things, you get into wholesale is a different situation where you're dealing with a big distributor. You're dealing with spreadsheets, scanning products every day. They're going to want you to buy 4 pallets of something. So don't start with wholesale first.
Yeah.
Add it to your equation after you master the other two.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what I think about it. So with wholesale, the main issue is that there's 2 things to balance, right? On one hand, the first thing that you need to balance is what's the minimum order quantity that the specific supplier require, right? The issue is, first of all, you'll be able to find distributors where you can just spend $300, $500, right? Now, the issue with that, and that's what a lot of people are not telling you, because when you look online, there's a lot of people that are telling you forget about online arbitrage. Online arbitrage does not work. It's not authorized by Amazon. All that stuff. You should do brand direct. You should work directly with brands, right? Now, the issue with that is that brands are not going to let you buy 5 units of a product, right? You need to understand how the supply chain works. So there's brands that produce their product. It goes to distributors, right? And to big distributors, to lower distributors, right? And then to retailers. And then from retailers, it goes either it sells or it goes on clearance, right? And when you start to take advantage of the fact that retailers put products on clearance, so you can buy the products cheaper, you buy these products, you flip them as a retailer on Amazon, and you make a lot of money, right? Now, that's easy because you can just do it with one product at a time. With wholesale, the issue, as I said, is that you're going to need to first balance minimum order quantity, right? And you need to balance that with how fast product sells on Amazon, right? Because opening up accounts is easy, right? Buying stuff if you have money is easy, right? The main skill is going to be balancing those 2 things. Because if the minimum order quantity of a product is 500 units, but it takes you 6 months to sell 500 units on Amazon, something's not going to work here, right? I mean, it can work, but you're never going to go full time with this, right?
Well, that happened to me with the candy.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, so I was able to get a wholesale account with Jelly Belly.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows jelly beans, right?
Where? Right here in Vegas.
Right here in Vegas.
Yeah.
I walked to the booth. I'm Ernie. I'm Jelly Belly executive. Fill this out. Here you go.
And the crazy part is that people say, ASD is trash. There's no real distributors. Ernie on his first try went to open up an account with Jelly Belly.
In 5 minutes. And then 2 booths down, toy distributor.
Yeah.
So it worked for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like it does.
Maybe the people saying that didn't walk around enough.
Yeah.
Talk to people. I don't know.
Yeah, because there are some issues with ASD. There's a lot of liquidators, right?
There
and you need to try to avoid that, right? Because if you don't and you buy stuff, and the main thing, by the way, that's a quick lesson, right? With wholesale, it's because you get a lot of people on Instagram, especially. I see one guy in his warehouse, right? That's always doing ads, and he's saying hey, online arbitrage is not authorized. You should do brand direct because that's the only way to get products the legit way, right? Which is bullshit, right? It's 100% bullshit. The truth is that it's way harder to prove the chain of custody for your items when you do wholesale with small distributors, right? Which is what you're going to do when you start. You're probably not going to work directly with Nike, right, as a beginner.
No.
That's not going to work. You cannot place $1 million order, right? So you work your way up the supply chain little by little, right? Eventually you get to work with brands like Nike. Maybe not, right? I'm probably never going to do it, right? I don't want to do it, to be honest, right? But you need to work your way little by little. So, I mean, the whole point of the story is you're not going to work with these distributors, right? And the thing is, you pretty much, so it's harder to prove the chain of custody, right? Because it's easier to show that the product is legit, right? Let's get back that Nike example, right? It's easier to prove that a product is legit if you bought a Nike product from Macy's, which is a big household name brand, right? Than buying a product from XYZ distributors out of Idaho that nobody have ever heard of, right? Because what's going to happen is that when Amazon actually tries to verify your invoice that you send, they're going to try calling, right, your distributor.
That's right.
And that small distributor has no idea how it works. They're not going to pick up, and Amazon's going to ask those questions, and they're going to be like, who are you? Like, I'm not going to give you information on my clients, right? They're going to hang up. The receptionist is going to hang up, right? Even if you brief them, that happens. And the funny story is that one of my students that's doing wholesale big time right now is dealing with that issue with brand direct accounts. So like even with brand direct account, you go straight to the brand and you submit invoice from the brand, right? It's actually not as easy as people believe to get those invoice approved for brand authenticity items, right? It's way easier to show that an item is legit by showing an invoice from Walmart, right, or another confirmation than an invoice from a small brand or a small distributor. Like, it's super hard. And people get suspended out of that. People get money frozen because of that. And that's one thing that people don't realize. So don't believe all that stuff. Stick with arbitrage. If your main concern is, I can get in trouble, wholesale is not going to solve that.
No.
It's not going to solve that. And then you need to balance a couple of things that are not easy to balance if you start by yourself. You don't know to work your way through price sheets, which is inventory turnover, right? And to get back to that, so with that candy, how did it go with that candy? And what mistake did you make?
Well, I didn't make a mistake. It went out well, but I just sit on the candy for 6 months. But I still sold it all.
Yeah.
Okay. I made money.
Yeah.
And also wholesale, the ROI is lower.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind too.
Not always.
Not always, but typically in general it is.
I mean, except if you run online arbitrage to $10 million a year, right? But if you run online arbitrage to at a small level, right, you can maximize your return on investment. Like, it's way easier, right? Because you can just take advantage of specific opportunity whenever there's an opportunity, right? You go to clearance section. I have a whole video, by the way, on that, like why you should source clearance as a beginner, right? If you just focus on clearance, you can get oftentimes you can actually get return on investment above 100%. So you can double down on your money, right? On small scale. But wholesale is a little bit more tricky if you don't do things right. But if you do things right, you can get decent return on investment. And you can get a more, a more stable return on investment through time with less work. But if you chase working less as a beginner, is it going to work well?
No. You can't do this business on day one and work less.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand the mechanics and know the business. Then you delegate out.
Yeah. You start by delegating.
Pricing.
Yes. And after that?
The packing and shipping.
Yeah.
The prep center situation.
And after that?
Then after that, sourcing.
I disagree. You know what? I disagree with that order, actually.
Really?
Yeah. And this is like the first thing that I tell people. I mean, your situation is different because you had employees already.
Sure.
Right? Most people don't know to work with a team. Most people don't know to hire a team, and most people don't know who to delegate to a team. Right?
That's true.
So the first thing you should do, and that's the way I actually run and I actually delegate stuff, right? So whenever I get a new VA, right? By the way, right now you can do so much stuff just with AI, right? Just looking to open Cloud Code, all these things, right? There's a lot of things that you can start delegating to AI agents, right? So by the way, if you don't know to work with AI agents to outsource stuff, don't think that it's going to be easier to actually hire an employee and get an employee to handle stuff, right? It's going to be actually harder to manage people, right? Because AI does the stuff, right? You just need to have clear instructions. You can have clear instructions with people, and Ernie will tell you, some people are just dumb, right? So,
unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, but to get back to my point, right? The way I outsource is when I get a new VA, I actually start outsourcing like easy admin stuff, right? First of all, to get an idea of if they are dumb or if they can follow instruction, right? And if they're reliable, which is the main thing, right? So I start with just managing emails, right? Looking at my email inbox, trying to manage my email, trying to manage my calendar, doing all these things little by little, right? Things that are easy to do and see if they're actually reliable. And then I move but to be honest, the way I outsource, I have a specific way of outsourcing things, and it's not the only way to do it. You have two ways to do it, right? Some people pay a lot of money
Yep.
to outsource to people that are really, really good. I do the opposite way. I try to build system where any dumbass can actually follow the system and actually get results, right? That's just how I outsource. Not everybody, like there's different school of thought when it comes to outsourcing, right? So I start with these and I work them through like doing easy things and adding more complex tasks one step at a time. So I start with admin task, then I start with, like taking care of the target list, doing stuff like that, reviewing things like that, managing calendars. Then sourcing, when I do sourcing, right, I start with easy task. So like the easiest way to source, right, would be like one of the first things that I do is like one of the methods that I'm not going to say the name here that we talk about in the mentorship program, right, is we're going to beep that, or I'll forget to do it. I'll forget to do it, right? So I'm not going to say the name of it, but like, when you go on Google, you do one specific thing on Google. I know that a few people here know what I'm talking about, right? I get them to do that because you don't really need to know to source, right? You just look at products and you just need to match product, price on Amazon. You don't need to read charts because like there's somebody else doing that. And then little by little, I give them more autonomy, right? Up to the point where they can actually analyze products. They can actually do the whole step-by-step thing and do every single method, right? But you're not going to get there day one, right? A lot of people think that they're just going to hire a VA. He'll know how to source. He's going to turn 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 products, profitable products on day one. No, you need to work your way there, right? And you need to learn how to outsource.
You have to learn the business first.
Yeah, and learn how to outsource, learn how to delegate, which is an important skill.
Learn everything first before you delegate.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, if you delegate emails, because you should look at the stuff that you do that takes time, right? If it takes you like 30 minutes a day to go through your email, reply to email, managing your email, all that stuff, just get a VA to do that. It's going to cost you like $1.50 a day and spend 30 more minutes actually looking at products, right? Instead of getting a VA to look at products, which is a higher skilled task, right? And then doing your email yourself, right? It doesn't make any sense, right? So that's the way I think about it. So before repricing, before all these things, I think that, of course, repricing, it's a software, right? But like, still, like, there's a lot of things that you can delegate so you can spend more time on repricing, right? Not manually, but with the software.
Right.
More time on not prepping. Prepping is really dumb, right?
Unless you love to do it.
Yeah, but even then, like, even if you love, it makes no sense to outsource sourcing and to still do prepping yourself.
No.
Right? Except if you buy really cheap products, it does not make sense to work with a prep center and you don't have time to source at all. Everybody has different conditions, right? Starting conditions. But like, repricing. But like I would do the emails and all that stuff before, and more importantly, documenting, which I'm going to do a lesson in the community on just that. But like documenting everything that you do in your business, like every single thing. And right now it's really easy to do with AI agents, right? And do you want to know why I do it? By the way, say that again.
Why?
No, how I do it.
Oh, how?
Yeah. So should we keep that for the community, or like should I make that public?
We need to keep for the community.
Just for the community?
We're giving people too much information.
Yeah, too much information here.
This is overload for people.
Yeah, that's an overload of information. So I'll make a couple of things, but like pretty much the way I'm doing it now, right, is I have AI agents set up with OpenClaw, right? Have you looked into OpenClaw?
I know a little bit about it.
Yeah.
I'm still studying it.
It's amazing. Ernie,
It's
amazing.
I know.
It's amazing.
I'll get there.
Matthias, have you used OpenClaw? No? It's amazing. It's amazing. Matthias is the podcast host, by the way. It's amazing. Okay? Yeah. So pretty much you run it on your machine. You have AI agents working, right? And you can set it up in a way, right, where you talk to one AI agent. And if you use Claude, you use ChatGPT, use all these things. You can use them all on the same machine, right? And you can have multiple agents that are like kind of multiple employees, right? And so there's a lot of ways I start using it for Amazon, right? And I'll put more content because like I'm playing like 8 hours a day with that right now when I'm working, right? There's so many ways you can use it. And one of the way I use it is to document everything I do in my business, right? And that's something that, you know me, I've always been big in SOPs and all these things, right? But not enough on documenting everything that you do in your business. And what do I mean by that? I love history, right? And if you look at Alexander the Great, if you compare him to other emperors, other like conqueror, right? One of the things that happened with Alexander the Great is that whenever he died at 32, like his whole empire pretty much was shut down. Why? Because he did not document anything, pretty much, right? If you compare that to the Roman Empire, right, or I think the Roman Empire is other empire like the French Empire under Napoleon, right? They were documenting everything, like literally everything, including like for example, all our law in Europe comes down from Roman law, pretty much, right? And then also from the Napoleonic Code, right? The reason why the Roman Empire was able to last for $2,000 years in the East and 1,000 years in the West is because they were documenting everything. And like whenever an emperor died, right, which the point is not to make your business live after you die, but like the point is to make your business live even if you get lazy or if you're not doing things like so other people can take care of it, right? And you can also review what you did wrong, right, and fix that, right? But the only reason why they actually last for longer is because of this, because they documented everything, right? And this is what I'm trying to do in my business. I have different, and I'll give you guys the whole setup in the community, right? But like the most important thing that I'm doing is for every single thing that I test, right, we write down the hypothesis. And so what I can do is just like talk with the AI agent, right? With my AI agent that I called Napoleon, by the way. And I talked to Napoleon and I said, okay, so by the way, you can link all your numbers to it, right? So your Amazon numbers, like if you run ads, your ads number, your ad accounts, all that stuff. And you say, okay, so how is my Amazon account looking today? Like what's my inventory turnover? Like am I selling stuff too fast? Am I selling stuff too slowly, right? It's going to give you a whole picture based on your number, based on when your stuff actually checked in, right? And whenever things go wrong, right, you can actually talk to it, try to figure out why it went wrong, and document everything, right? So I'll tell you a little story. So I run a lot of ads for another business, right? And things went wrong. We burnt a lot of money for the last 2 weeks. Let's put it this way. We burnt a ton of money in the last 2 weeks. And there were a couple of things that were wrong, right? But one of the things that you need to do when you run a business is you need to be able to, when you make a mistake, to learn from it and not make the same mistakes again, right? Which, if you don't document, it's really hard to not commit the same mistake again, right? So what I do is I try to work this problem out with the AI, right? And so it take notes of every single issue, every single failure that we go through, right? And we actually brainstorm solution, right? Hypothesis of why things went wrong. And so everything is set up in different files, right? And so we have the failures, the lesson that we learned from it, right? To not make them again. So whenever you ask something about the AI and you have another situation that is kind of similar, it's going to scan all your failures, see if there's anything that we're doing right that may cause other problems based on the stuff that we learned in the past, all the lessons that we got from there. Are we applying all the lessons that we actually learned from it, right? And it's going to take note of all the stuff that you're trying and make sure that you try it the right way, right? I'll give you guys the whole setup, but you should actually look into that. And yeah, if you document everything, right, there's no way you can fail and make the same mistakes again, right? As long as your different agents are able to talk to one another, which, if you look historically, was the mistake that Napoleon made, right? Because Napoleon documentation was crazy good, was crazy deep. If you look at historical documents, like there's a ton of documents, like even like crazy stuff that he was telling his girlfriend, right? It's written and you can find it, right? But like the main issue that was there with his system was that it was like all the communication was vertical and not horizontal. So you could have, and which is one of the reasons why he lost in Waterloo, right? Because, and it was right after like one of his main guy, Berthier, actually died, right? So, like you can go deeper into that, but like right now, like you can run like your business, especially with AI agents, you can run your business and document stuff better than these guys, right? You have more capabilities that these guys had, and Napoleon had, because he had to spend a lot of money. You can do it for $200 a month now, right? Than the Roman Empire, which was a huge empire. You have more capabilities than all these guys, right? And you should actually look into it. And so, yeah, I'll add a couple of things in the community, which is going to, by the way, if you want to join the community, just watch one of the free live class. And if you like how I teach, just join from there. Okay, it's not free. Okay, it costs money. Okay, so don't come and request a call and say, "Hey, Chris, I told you it was free." No, it's not. Okay, I have other stuff to do. I'd rather spend time with my son than spending time teaching you guys, right? So that's why I charge money. But yeah, it's going to be available in the community, and yeah, I'll make it. I'll give you guys the whole system.
If I spend $100 to hang up on the Ferrari guy,
Yeah,
you guys could spend this for a call with Chris.
yeah. No, the call are free. Like,
Yeah,
but I don't take the calls myself. Okay, I don't take the calls myself anymore, and you need to pay to join. It's not free. You're not going to learn that stuff for free. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anything you want to add, Ernie?
Just, this is a great business to start. It's the entry is so easy.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And don't give up. You're going to have struggles. You're dealing with Amazon.
Yeah.
That's your biggest problem is Amazon itself. Okay? That is the biggest problem is Amazon itself. They don't care that they lost one of your Nike socks.
Yeah.
There's nobody to call and complain to about it. But
I mean, you can try to get them to call you, but you're gonna deal with Arjun in India who does not care either about your business.
you're better off taking the $7 loss and moving on
Yeah.
and finding another product to cover that loss.
Yeah.
Just you got to keep moving. You have to keep sourcing. Use the tools,
Mm-hmm.
and you should be fine.
Yeah.
That's the best
So
advice.
that's your
I'd give.
closing words.
Yes. Oh, people always ask me, how much money do you need to get started?
Yeah.
Is
Great.
now is a good question?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Okay. 2 weeks ago, I saw a video online. This guy was telling people you could start this business with $100.
You can, but
Okay, theoretically you can. That is not realistic. That is giving people false hopes.
Mhm.
To really get this thing going, $3,000. You need to have access to about $3,000 range,
yeah,
access to it.
yeah, access. Yeah, that's the key word.
Access.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
keyword
yeah.
is access.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you need $3,000 cash. You need access to $3,000 of somewhere to buy products.
Yeah, and there's so
There
many
is.
easy way to do it. Like you can do it with Klarna, you can do it with
Right.
Afterpay, you can use credit cards. Because the main point you want to get to is pretty much getting proof of concept, prove that you can turn $1 into $2.
Yes.
And by the way, yeah, so you don't need the $3,000 to start, right?
No.
You just need to be able to prove that you can turn $1 into $2.
Yes,
Okay. As long as, I mean, if you can get that proof, you can get money.
you can.
You can get money anywhere. Like if I actually, Ronnie, please tell me, if I was coming to you with a business plan, right? And I told you like, look, Ernie, I can turn $1 into $2 every 30 days, right? I've done it for the last 2 months,
Mhm.
right? I've done it for the last 2 months. Here's the proof. You can look into it. I have all my numbers, everything. Can you lend me $1,000 so I can turn 1,000 into 2,000 and we'll split the $1,000 profit both ways? Would you do it?
Yes.
That's as easy as it is. Like that's literally how you actually scale with other people's money. There are other
Yes.
strategies that goes into it, but like that's as easy as that.
The
Right.
banks have so much money to give out to people.
Hmm.
Banks, credit cards, whatever it is, it's there for you to use.
Yeah,
Use it wisely. Use it wisely.
yeah,
Don't use it for your personal whatever.
yeah.
This is a business.
Don't buy your Lamborghini with
Don't
it.
buy your Lamborghini with it, okay? It's a business. Use debt wisely. You'll be fine.
I agree.
There's a guy out there named Robert Kawasaki.
Hmm.
He has a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. Easy read. That gives you the concept of leveraging cash flow in that book.
Hmm. Yeah.
Start with that.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have those two concepts, the rest is easy for you.
Yeah, and the rest is finding profitable products, which
It's there for you.
yeah,
You have the tools.
yeah,
The tools are there now.
yeah, exactly. So, thank you so much, Ernie.
This is it.
I mean, you want to talk more? We can talk for longer. Wait, how much time do we have
I think
left?
people are tired now.
We have 10, 15 minutes.
I think we covered much, but tell them to get a hold of you.
Yeah,
know.
just
Yeah.
you will not get a hold of me one-on-one, okay? I don't want to do that anymore, okay? But you can come to a live class, okay? It's free. The link is right there, okay? Mangunza.com/register. Make sure to put the www that in front of it. If not, you're not going to be redirected to the right page, right? I do live class from time to time. If you want to join the mentorship program immediately, right, you go to the same website, but instead of /register, you go to /apply. If you don't have time to watch the live class, just /apply, you can apply, okay? There's going to be a small questionnaire, right? A couple of questions. It costs money. It's not free, okay? So don't waste your time, okay? It costs a couple of $1,000s, okay? You just go there, /apply, fill the form, you book a call. George is going to hop on a call with you, see if you're a good fit. If you're a good fit, let's start working. And so you can work with Ernie, you can work with all my other students, meet them as well. You can come here in Vegas. We do it twice a year. You can come in Vegas with us, meet up, and open up accounts and talking about Amazon and doing all that fun stuff, right? And yeah, that's just how it is.
E-commerce is not going away.
Yeah,
So
it's not.
take advantage of it.
Yeah, and make money with it now
Make money
while
with
you
it now.
can. And whenever you have a good opportunity like this, just use it to make money.
Yep.
And then make as much of it as you can while it's available. And because one day it will not be as easy as it is today, right? So while it is easy, just make a lot of money and then move on. Invest in real estate with that money like Ernie does, or like in other stuff. Should I get into real estate?
Well, the answer is yes.
So I'll look into it, right? I'm not invested at all in real estate, right?
Real estate's big in Miami.
Yeah, true.
It's big.
True.
You know,
Prices are too expensive right now. Way too expensive.
you got to start somewhere.
I may buy just a Lamborghini for now, and then we'll figure
There
it
you
out.
go. Buy a Lamborghini. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ernie.
Hey, thank you. It's been
was
fun.
fun.
It's been fun. Hopefully, this was informative for your students.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, it is. It is. I think you shared a lot of cool stuff.
yeah.
And so, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you watch until here, free class, and I'll see you in the next one.